Welcome everyone at home. Welcome everyone. Please, if you have your computer on, if you are live, please let us know if we can be seen and we can be heard. And very exciting to be here. We're setting up all our lights and all our microphones. You should have seen all the setup in the background, but it seems to be good. Please let me know if you can hear me well. Maybe even too well, and then let me know as well. Okay, so here we go. We are just about to begin. Please say hello. And I'm just going to check in a second to see what we have. Bonjour, Eric. Sound and image are good. Excellent. Hi, Eric. Audio and video is good. Jennifer, hi, Eric, with a big smile. So, see, we're on. So it's all good. So I'm just talking to myself here. And Phil says, hi, Eric, audio and video is good. Okay, so we are good. Excellent. We are trying to get it all working. So here we are. We said basics today, back to basics today. And what does it mean back to basics? You know, we always talk about the before, the during, and the after meditation. And the before the meditation is very, very important. Very, very important. Because in our everyday life, since we were young children, we always relied on our own ability. This is how we've been trained. We've been trained to rely on our own abilities. You gotta know what you're doing. You gotta prepare in advance. You have to know where you're going. You have to set the goals straight, and then you have to measure exactly, how close you are, right? And why is inner work so challenging? Is because in the inner work, we're doing the exact opposite. In our inner work, we're actually relying on something that we already have that is bigger and deeper and more powerful than anything that we could ever understand. And something that Peter was talking about earlier before we began today, he says, Eric, when you look at me, what happened to me when I was 3 years old is normal to you, right? He said that. And I said, yeah, but I'm also extremely aware and surprised every time that I can sense it. Because there's that duality in me that recognizes that for me to know something that happened to somebody in the past, I have to trust. I have to be free at a certain level that is beyond my comprehension, beyond my logic, beyond what I've been taught, right? Beyond of what I know. Like me, I have to almost rely on something that is bigger than me, right? To recognize and go into the past. But what I'm doing in my diagnosis and what I'm doing in my inner work is exactly what I'm teaching you and showing you how to do for your own growth. And this is why when we're talking about before our practice, what we want to do is we want to take our practice and be in that state of harmony that I am when I'm diagnosed. In exactly the same state of trust, right? In exactly the same state of freedom to allow something that you already have inside to show itself. And the way it shows itself is to the degree that you are able to not interfere. To that degree, it will show itself, right? So the whole process of growth, of healing, if that's what's necessary, right? And of awakening your own potential, of finding your purpose, whatever that means to different people, of finding your journey, of enjoying your journey, of being empowered by your journey. This whole process is learning how not to interfere with your own self. So all our mindsets are about that. They're about how to learn not to interfere. And the very first way in which we learn not to interfere is simply come into the practice without any expectations. Recognizing that in our practice, we just come to meet, if you may, your higher self, to meet. Right? Radha, what is the other thing that you need to do in the before meditation? Open a fresh page, meet your higher self. What else?
They open the fresh page. Higher self. I think that's about it.
Right.
Meaning like higher self, kind of that sense of lovability for ourselves.
Right.
That kind of connection.
Right. And no what? No expectations.
No expectations.
Right. No expectations. As you are, right? If you're tired, you come in tired. This is the beauty. Why, Radha? Why coming into the meditation tired is okay?
I'm not sure what the good reason is. I would think that's what we have at the moment.
Right.
That's just the moment, that's what we're given.
Right.
And that's what we're working with.
Right.
For the growth.
Right. So you cannot be who you are not. You cannot be where you are not. The most important part of our practice is to accept the ground that you're standing on. The moment you accept the ground, the moment you accept exactly the state you're in, from that point you grow. And it doesn't matter if your mind is clear or not clear, if you have a lot of thoughts or little thoughts, if you have a lot of muscle, a little muscle today, a lot of enthusiasm or less enthusiasm, it really doesn't matter. Actually, more so, all that you think is tired and not functioning is exactly that which you need to humble to begin with. All that which you actually need to recognize that it is not what you are meditating with. That's not your power in meditation. That's your power in everyday life. Great. So you don't have it, you have much less resistance. Much less I will do it. Because it's not there. Right? So it's very, very important to start the right way. Now, guess what? Not 99% out of the time. 100% of the time, you will attempt to start the wrong way. Listen, not 99% of the time. 100% of the time, you will have in the back of your mind the question, maybe I'm too tired, right? Maybe I'm not focusing enough, right? Maybe I'm not doing it right. Maybe not today. Maybe not right now. 100% of the time. And the moment you hear that inner voice saying that, celebrate. Celebrate. Because this is the opportunity. Now, that inner voice is holding you back in survival, and you are ready to go further. And then you just observe. You say, Erik said it's going to happen. Well, it happened to me before, but now I'm so clear, so aware of it. And all you need to do at that moment when you hear that inner voice is to catch that thought and just to turn towards your body and sense the experience of your body, the sensations of your body at that moment. That's it. It's too simple. It's way too simple for people to think that this can actually bring them transformation, that this can actually bring, complete change in their perspective, complete health. Just from that, it's almost too simple, I know. But guess what? Your body doesn't care what you're challenged with. All it cares is for you to be in harmony, in unity. And catching your thoughts of survival, trying to somehow remember the very first meditation we've done together with inner commands, right? And I said, there's one thing that we need to make sure that does not interfere with our process. We call them but commands, B-U-T. Guaranteed. Right? You're going to try and do something, and there's going to be the but command. But I tried it before and it didn't work. But I heard, but I read. But what if I can't? But what if I'm not ready? But what, and but what? And the moment you have the but, at that moment, you celebrate. What do we used to do in survival mode when we hear the but? Evelina, what do we do in the survival mode when we hear the but command? Right. But what do we tend to do? If you are trying to do your meditation and suddenly you hear yourself saying but, what do we tend to do? We freeze, and then we ultimately say, here you go again. Right? You know better. Why are you trying to interfere with your own growth? Right? You know you shouldn't have bad commands. Why are you having bad commands? And now you have a conversation, a loop of conversation in survival mode. Beautiful. And then you catch yourself. That inner conversation, you catch it. And what do you do once you catch that conversation? Simple. You pay attention to the body. That's it. And the moment you do that, this is what's called rising above your challenge. This is what it's called, rising above. Not controlling, not trying to overpower, not trying to judge or blame or shame or guilt, but literally accept, but proactively, not passively. Accepting proactively is bringing attention to the experience of the body at the moment of conflict. Conflict means that you're trying to butt something. Am I going too fast?
No, it's just that you say that when you know that you reveal that it's okay, it seems like, do we now try less hard because it doesn't matter?
Oh, beautiful. Do we try less hard because it doesn't matter? No. Remember, there are 3 ways in which I measure, right, the relevance of this conversation. Development of a child, ancient wisdom, and my sensitivity to energy. This, let's look at it. Development of a child. A child tried to walk, and the child fell down. Oh, does it matter the child fell down? No, it's part of learning how to walk, right? It's part of walking for them at this moment. So does a parent or a guardian say, I can't believe you just fell down. You should be walking, why are you not walking? No, you don't. You acknowledge the fact that you've done your best, but you don't blame and shame and guilt and question. You recognize it's part of the journey. And guess what? When you come into the next step, do you try less because it didn't matter that you fell? No, you try more.
Probably more.
More. The only reason why you're trying more is because you don't have self-awareness to guilt and shame and judge yourself. And this is beyond survival, right? For aware state. This is innocence for a child, purity, innocence, unity, pure. That's what we love the most about children. That's why they learn so fast. That's why they are able to empower and awaken their truth through basic running around the house and screaming like a madman, you know? And then through that, they build their personality and awaken themselves and become adults before you know it. So right now, in our practice, we awaken what we call innocence through awareness. The moment that you recognize this shame and guilt and judgment and expectation of self in the basic process, before you even began your meditative state, you already won. You already won. Because you're already in unity. And you're coming into the practice in a state of unity. Right away. And this is what we call connecting to energy. How do we connect with energy? To energy? In the most basic way. We don't try and figure out who wrote which PhD on what to connect to energy, right? We're not trying to quiz ourselves on some internal. We connect energy by standing up in the least intentional way, in the most natural way. Not this way, not that way, but the most relaxed way. And we close our eyes so we don't interfere with, so we don't get interfered with the outside world, because guess what inside of us, a survival need. The moment something moved, the moment something changed, our attention taken away. We want to pay attention to something moving and changing, not outside of us, but inside of us. This is why we close our eyes. Not for any other reason. I do diagnosis with open eyes, not closed eyes. I see what happened to you when you were 3 years old with open eyes, not closed eyes. Nothing interferes with me. Proof, I'm doing it in a place where there are 2,000 people running around screaming. Right? And 3 of them are talking to me at the same time. Right? And I do the diagnosis. At the same time. Yeah. From different directions. Right. But my focus is not even a bit disturbed by that, because I'm not relying on this world. I'm looking from a deeper, from a state of unity. Now, it's much more comfortable to do it with closed eyes. Right? So basically, we stand up at the most natural way. We close our eyes so nothing that's moving interferes with us. Now, I would say we should close our ears, but there's no necessity for that. Actually, I'm a little bit encouraged the fact that if there is noise around you, you can handle it. I'll tell you why. Because ears, why ears is okay? Why? I'm not suggesting to put plugs in your ears, but yet I'm suggesting to close your eyes. Huh? Interesting, right?
Yeah.
Because never asked that question, right? Because ears hear something that is far away. It's not immediate danger. It's much easier to not address it and bring attention back. Eyes show what's close and needs instant response. Interesting?
Yeah.
Now, we stand up, close our eyes, and the very basic thing that we do, we pay mental attention to our hands and wrists. Same hands and wrists that say hello and goodbye and embrace and hug and build and create, and same hands and wrists that have magic in them and have connection to all the meridians of the body and have the connection to all the energy centers of the body, 10 of them. Same hands and wrists that come together, right, when we are in full peace, and that protect us when we are afraid. Same hands that ask for more, right? And the greatest, is it in English when I say, don't put your hands down or something? It's probably European. No, keep your, whatever. No, don't. When you give up, what do you do with the hands? There's a saying, and I'm not sure which language it is. When you give up on something, you do something with your hands. When you give up. When you don't give up, you say, hold on tight, yeah? With your hands. Right? And when you give up, maybe somebody knows at home. Whatever language, different languages use hands as a symbol, right? Yeah? Oh, that's hands up? Yeah. Show me that I can trust you, right? Show me that I can trust you. But anyways, so the first thing, when we look for a pulse, we'll look at in the hand and the wrist, right? When we want to see if something is hot or cold, same place would be the best place. And everything is there. Everything is connected there. And so that's what we do first, right? And the second thing that we do when we connect to the energy after that, we ultimately relax the head and the neck. The first thing that we need to do. So the dance of the spine does not begin from the legs. This dance begins from the head, right? You follow me? Why? Reason being is it just so happens that today's transformation that we are going through has to do with our ability to connect with others. The transformation, the healing that we are going through as human beings, everything that bothers us the most and everything that gives us the most joy, everything that we wish for and everything that we wish never happened is our need to connect with others. And I'm showing it here because our connection with others is at the throat, at the shoulders, at the neck. This is where our connection is. The connection, the power of our connection is in our voice, in our expression. I create as I speak. This form of creation right now is a creation of co-creation with others. And when we feel that we're not co-creating with others, when we feel they don't hear us, they don't understand us, we don't have a chance to speak our truth, what happens to us? We stiffen in the throat, stiffen in the neck, stiffen in the shoulders. So that is the state of survival that we are in, coming into every meditation. So that's the first thing that we allow to be free. because it becomes, why is it so important to free there first? Because we have been stiffening it all our lives, we are so unconscious of the fact that we're holding it up. We're completely unconscious of it. If I'll say free your body, you'll free everything else but the head and the neck. So if I was going to say the first thing that we do after we connect to our hands and wrists is to free our body, you will free everything below your chest. And you'll keep the chest and the throat tight, because it becomes such a strong self-identity of that tightness that we don't even know that it can move. And if you look at a lot of people's spine, the stiffness of the spine is right there. Very amazing, right? So the basic things we're doing. It's not coincidental. No word is coincidental. And after we let go of the head and the neck, then of course, that momentum, that dance is much easier to do, because the rest of our body is much more free. And then I say one more thing. I say, give your hands and arms freedom, as if you were observing somebody else's. I actually say that. Why is it important to give hands or arms freedom? Is because they are connected to your neck. Because the first thing that the spine will do, that's what it wants to do, right? The first thing that it wants to do is to open up. The moment the energy arrives, to open up where it's most stiff, where it's held back. For that exact reason, for very beginners, guess how they begin our practice? We actually begin with very beginners sitting at a chair. Why? Because very beginners would have a much harder time letting go of the head and the neck unless they sat deep in the chair, and I consciously instructed them not to sit up and hold their spine. How many know meditation, right? To be in that stiff posture. Of course you can't meditate, because the body wants one thing and you force it into another. Now, likely what's going to happen is that after a few years you overcome yourself, right? But it comes in a fight. It's a fight against your own self. Instead of following through with your body and going through the intermediate postures, you are forcing yourself in submission of some kind. And, those who are predispositioned, it happens faster for them, and they go into where we are. And those who are not predispositions quit, because, the more accumulated sense of not being heard and understood you have in your life, this life and maybe even past life that you brought into this world, the harder it would be to reach unity. And unity is including the movements and the postures of the body. How can you achieve unity just internal? Are you following me? So I'm kind of jumping into the next thing. I'm saying that in our case, movements, postures, experiences of the body are already a byproduct of the changes. They're already the completion. Movement completing energy cycle and not beginning it. Posture completing energy cycle and not beginning it. And the moment you fully, or the more free you are to allow This posture, not some ideal posture, but the one that you need right now. This posture, this one that you're not so sure of, this is the one you need. Hear what I'm saying? Not the right one that you may think that you need, but this one that you're having right now. Why do you think you're adjusting yourself in the chair right now? Right? You understand? And we know it with children. I talk about it all the time. At dinner table when they're tired, what are they doing? Sliding right down. Right? They're like a snake. At the dinner, sit up straight. We're having dinner. It's not polite. They're yawning. Right? They're doodling. And now, you know what's the new, I've never said this before, it just came to me. I love it. You know what's the new way of doodling? Using your phone, texting. That's a new way of doodling. They're busy, always, something moving, something changing, something, yeah? We used to doodle, now we don't have to. We can just go to the next website, next picture. Just slide. The mind is busy. We used to pace, yeah, when we were nervous. Now we scroll. You know, pacing, back and forth, right? If somebody's pacing today, youngster pacing, they've been deprived, right? They've been deprived. How are we doing at home? Hello, Marco. Yeah, Marco's throwing his hands up in the air. Sorry, I didn't. Yeah. When you give up, you let go. Exactly. And when you, right, let go. Thank you. And when you hold on or let go, it generally means with your hands, right? That's the analogy. Hello, Vicky. So what we've done here today, we've recognized we haven't even started meditating, really. We just got a connection. To ensure that we got the connection, we came into the meditation with no expectation, right? We came as we are, tired, busy, heavy on the shoulders, everything we carry on our shoulders, right? The whole world is on our shoulders. Right. Mind racing. Thank you. All is good, because guess what? This is the state we want. Why we want this state? Because there's no other state you're in. This is your truth. As you are, as it is right now. Why would you want some other state? Where you want to live in some imaginary world? Put your phone down. Imaginary world. Let's come here, where you really are. This is not escapism method. It's transformation. So we come in as we are. We celebrate the fact. We catch ourselves resisting, catch ourselves in our survival mode. We celebrate, because the more we're resisting, the more benefit we can receive today. The opposite. The more there's a resistance, the more benefit you'll get. Isn't that powerful? Isn't that encouraging? Celebrate your resistance, because this is the moment to find harmony. Don't get discouraged by your resistance. Don't fight it. Celebrate it and do it anyway. Do it anyway. Because you're not a child. You're an adult, and this is what differentiates you. Then you come in, just connect. Simple. Stand up, sense the The hands, right away, you'll feel a little bit of the tingling, a little bit of the numbness. Suddenly the body will start a little bit, and the moment it starts moving a little bit, you will notice, if you pay attention, how much you're holding up your head and your neck. And then you just let go of the head and the neck, and then the body will start guiding you. Gravity is your friend. You're no longer fighting it. And that is the only moment you need. If you remember me talking about this dentist, right, that did not know how to convince people to floss their teeth. So he suggested that they only floss one tooth. So no big deal, just do one. But here you are, you know it's good for you, right? You know you need it. And here you are already, what do you call it? Wrapped this string, right, between your fingers, and you did one tooth, and you go, okay, I can't quit now. Get it to the full mouth. I'll feel so much better about myself. I'll feel worse if I quit now, right? So I ask you, if you have the greatest resistance, just connect. Just go through this stage that we've just done. Just connect to that energy. The moment you connect to that energy, there's unity. And the moment there's unity, there's new energy. And the moment there's new energy, that's it. That's it. You're there. Now it feels better to stay than to quit. We want that. We want to bring ourselves to that state. And more so, like we said, it is more beneficial if you had resistance than if you hadn't. It's more beneficial if you came in with resistance than if you didn't. If you didn't come in with your resistance, you'll have to find another resistance to benefit you. I'm sorry?
I don't think what's that problem. I always have the resistance.
You always have resistance? Excellent. So you should be,
But then it's amazing that it works even if what Jalka was saying, if the mind is not present.
Yes.
And yet they were able to find that determination to go through the steps.
Right.
Despite just mind wanting to be found.
Right. Because all you need is to catch that mind once, and you're already in the positive. We're not looking for perfection. It's not about, look, here's the answer to your question, which you didn't formulate. We are not, it's not about how long you've been practicing. It's not about the half an hour. It's about that one moment where you were in unity. And that one moment is even more beneficial when it comes from resistance first. If you get 2 moments, oh. If you get 10 moments that you catch it, remember in our meditation, I often say, listen to this, the energy is shifting, the energy is changing, right? Those are the moments I'm helping you catch. It's not about, you see, I don't like talking like this, but if you coming in to a meditation with expectations of something to happen, and if you feel the discomfort of the mind racing, the body tired, and you question yourself, and you question if this is the right time, and you never get out of this, doesn't matter how long you spend in it, you didn't find that one moment. That's all. There was no unity. It was but situation, right?
Can we even define that? So, but there must be a little bit of a positive expectation of some sort, maybe intangible, but something to keep us here.
Oh, like I said, just like we have 100% resistance, we have 100% everything when we're coming in. And that's the beauty.
I think ideally with the beginners, like, we have that attraction, but we don't know what's going to happen.
what we are missing is that as long as you have a body, you will have the necessary resistance to grow. As long as you have a body and you are not in a coma and you're not an infant, a child who doesn't have self-awareness, then you have all the tools to grow. This is part of the process. We are still playing the game of thinking that somehow if you have resistance is the wrong thing to do. This is not, it's the opposite. It's the exact opposite. The resistance is the tool. And the body is the resistance. The body wants comfort. The body wants pleasant sensations. The body wants to find a comfortable position. The body has desires which have to do with past experiences. The body is addicted to its own self-identifying experience, even if it's traumatic. We can't let go. Why can't we let go of trauma? Because it's the body that's not letting it go. Our mind already let it go a long time ago. We forgave and forgotten, and it's gone, but the body is still suffering, still caring, and it's accumulating, and it's carving into old wounds. As long as you have a body, you have something to work on. Congratulations. But it's also a gift, because joy can only be achieved as a difference between where you are and where you go. That's joy. There's no other way to experience joy. If you didn't have that lower state of before and the higher state of now, you would never experience joy. You would never experience something bigger than yourself. Because joy is something bigger than yourself. That's why it's so powerful.
So when you're getting older, the body gets more and more resistance because, it's forcing you to...
Start again for me. I missed the beginning.
When you're getting older,
yes,
the body is getting more and more resistance as you get older. So it's forcing you to grow.
Yes. 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 But not necessarily. Depends when you actually start co-creating your life. And to what degree? Then you get younger every day, in a sense, right? You have a different relationship with your body. It gives you the same way as we are born, not able to walk, talk, or know anything. It's an opportunity to build our character in the process of learning. How? The same way, the aging process, in a sense, it's a forced state of growth on you. It's forcing you to become wiser. You can no longer show off your muscles. You're not as fast as you used to be. You're not as quick in your mind as you used to be. So you have to have some kind of benefit to others, or else. Yeah? So it's forcing you. You either suffer and say, wow, I can't believe. Or you enjoy every single moment of your life because suddenly you have the joy of growing and sharing with others that which you've just acquired. Right? That which you just overcome is becoming that which you share with others, nothing else. So overcoming becomes an opportunity. I'm going a little, yeah.
I think a bit to elaborate on that doubt and talking about the joy from where you are, where you want to be.
Yes.
Because of that, the doubt,
Yes.
that you feel joyful and
Right.
good.
Right.
Move on.
Right.
What if, let's say, quote unquote, in the moment you're happy where you are, but then that the next step, the surrounding is forcing you to see that the next step is not ahead of you, but behind you, like the delta, that the gap is negative.
I'm not sure I understand.
Okay, I will be blunt, like
Yes.
it's my own situation.
Right.
So to the process of growth,
Right.
I always felt that I'm reaching to some goal that is in front of me. And because of that delta, I was feeling happy and really inspired.
So happy and joy is not the same
No,
thing.
not back to joyful, because
Maybe you haven't been joyful. Maybe you were just happy.
I was satisfied
Right.
with the process and process of growth and like feeling that I'm going into good direction.
Okay.
Because like my perception of the point B, it was in front of me.
Okay.
In this moment, I came to situation that let's say I came to point B and I wanted to see point C again in front of
Right.
me.
Right.
But suddenly, my surrounding
Yes.
is almost like giving me point not see in front of me, but see that is below my B.
Let me just
Almost
see.
like a forcing, my surrounding is forcing me to do a step back. And
Uh,
I feel that
Yeah.
I really feel, and you can ask her, I feel negative about it because I know it's forcing me to be stagnated, forcing me to be not productive, forcing me to see that I'm not worthy, that I cannot do anything good, like that joy
Yes.
to help and grow and go into good direction. I feel like almost like I'm done.
Right.
And so like how can you in that negative, it's not my negative momentum, like I feel that the environment
Yes.
where I'm right now, like putting me
Right.
in almost like forcing me to go 3 steps back,
Right. Right.
So how can you find joy in understanding the situation and to like saying, okay, like I will move that point C
Yes.
again in front of me and
Yes.
see as a
Yes.
again joy
Yeah, I
because I'm
understand.
overcoming the delta.
Yeah.
Usually delta is like you're on the lower level and you're not climbing the mountain.
Yeah.
And now I'm feeling like okay, I'm on
Jalka,
yeah.
simple answer. Place point B above you, not in front of you.
Again that negative.
No,
negative
positive. There's only positive
yeah.
above you. There's no behind and there's no forward for point B when it comes to growth. It's only above you, which means that it's not something that you can set your goal on. It's exactly what we're talking about, why we need the practice. Point B is not in front of you or behind you. Point B is above you. In other words, exactly the same situation you see with new eyes. There is no negative in above you. And it only happens, only in practice. Why? Because in practice we go against all that inner dialogue which you just described. That's it. I know. And try to give it time. Try to give it time. You will see that suddenly everything that ever happened will now serve you. That's the key. It's not that you have to somehow relive it again or no, it will start serving you because point B is above, not in front, not there, and not there. Okay, and ultimately the joy is the recognition of the joy is the recognition of your old self and your new self. The old self that was stuck at point in front of you, and the new self that sees exactly the same point and doesn't feel stuck anymore. That's joy.
Yeah,
Because
very important.
because it's above you.
I feel like all this practice and learning is helping me because the fact that I'm aware of it,
Yes.
the fact that I don't agree to be in that stuck situation, the
Right.
fact that I'm looking for exit,
Yes.
but not to forceful exit,
Right.
but like exit to grow, and as you say, like
Yes.
understanding how it will serve me and
Right.
uh, make me more experienced. Like I like that process. I'm not too negative, just like
Yes. That's why when you just notice it, you celebrate. When you notice your own resistance, you celebrate. Now, this kind of puts a whole loop. It closes everything we've said. You've given an example of everyday life, and I started talking about the the practice. And the beauty about our practice is that when we do it in our practice, as with self, so with others. We suddenly don't have to worry about what we do with them and how we think about them and how we solve our life situation out there. We don't have to because we've solved it with self. This is why we're given the body. This is why we've given those tools. This is why we've given self awareness. This is why we've given the challenges with self. And within that half an hour, if we go through the basics, we transform the self. And when you transform the self, as with self, so with others. As within, so out there. As we do one thing, so we do all things. And we start with as I am, as it is right now. That's it. Those are not slogans. If you say it to somebody, and I've actually spoken to Joyce, and she said, Eric, I can't translate. And Joyce is translating into the Chinese language. And she says, Eric, we have a problem because those things you say, they're so powerful, but I cannot translate them into the Chinese language because when I translate it in the Chinese language, it sounds like some kind of in the old days, they had those slogans, right? And that's what it starts sounding like. And it starts sounding a little bit like I'm trying to sell them something, right? As opposed to, right? That's what it sounds like. It's not my words, right? It's hers. So she says, I prefer to actually not translate those and just to keep in English because it sounds so not right. So what I'm saying is in exactly the same way, if we say, as with self, so with others, as within, so out there, as you do one thing, so you do all things, as you are, as it is right now. If you say that to a person who's never been here with us and never practiced, to them, they sound like very positive, powerful slogans. They'll wake up every morning and they will repeat them and see what happens. And it will inspire them for that hour before they go to work, right? And then the moment they cross the entrance door, they'll just say positive thinking doesn't work. So those are not slogans. Those are not things to remember. Those are things we practice. And we start before practice. Basic connection. And then we get the vertical. What's going on at home? You know, at least those people who are here with us, I can see their faces and I can see that, yes, that makes sense. Okay, yes. Body changes, postures change. I recognize things are moving here. But at home, is that making sense at home? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect, right, to the basics, right? So if you would, let's begin from a standing posture. We're not complete beginners anymore, but I always recommend to begin every meditation as if you've never done this before. As if you've never done this before. This is what Radha mentioned as beginner's luck, right? So we remind ourselves of the fact that no matter where we've arrived, no matter how long we've been doing this, this moment has never been here before. The way we are right now, we've never been this way before. So as I am as it is right now is as if I've never done this, because we're going vertical and not horizontal. Right? This is for that reason. If it was horizontal, we've been here before. Yeah, we've been here. More or less familiar. Same inner command, same meditations. But because it's vertical, we've never been here. Like that, Peter? Mental notes?
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back.
Just the first note, talked about this chakra and
Yes.
stiffness here.
Yes.
That tendency of went to physiotherapist, where is the problem? Where is
In the
this
spine,
problem?
yeah.
Here.
Of course. Because it's there, you compensate.
And it's probably all the communication thing.
Always. Always.
Communication thing manifests as stem cell.
Right. Absolutely. And also manifests as knees and hips and everything else. It's another thing, because fifth and second are a pair. So everything that's in the lower back and the pinch in the lower back is directly connected to the throat. But it's something another day. Okay, so we begin standing posture. Phil says, yes, we are totally with you. Shirley says, yes, it does make sense, feeling humbled by this process. Thank you. Eyes closed, please. And simply relax into the standing posture. Just relax into the standing posture. No expectations. We're just connecting today. Basics. Remember what connection means. Feet a little bit wider than usual so we can have the freedom for the body, for the spine. Hands are free to your sides. Bring mental attention to your hands and wrists. Get that connection, and then naturally remind yourself to free your head and your neck. And if it's not easy to free your head and your neck, guess what? Celebrate. If it's not easy to free your head and your neck and to allow gravity to take it, celebrate. Because this is the moment where you will receive the most vertical. Relax even more. Beautiful. Catherine says the practice, even with resistance, is helping us step by step, drop by drop, to connect with something that is bigger than us. And this is the golden nugget. Thank you. Absolutely. Love it. Love it. Golden nugget or the golden egg? I'm going to raise the energy a little bit higher. Now, the way I raise the energy, just so we know, is when I actually pay attention to my body with the intention to reflect to you. So that harmony that I achieve within me, I want to resonate, reflect to you from within me to within you, which means that it doesn't matter how far away you are, from within me to within you. This is not a horizontal reflection. This is outside of time, outside of space reflection. Beautiful. Beautiful. Trust it. Trust it. Remind yourself you're not looking for comfort. You're looking for freedom. And wherever your body is taking you right now, let it surprise you. It's not coincidental. Accepting this moment as it is, as you are right now, accepting this moment is the key. Nothing more. Just accepting this moment. That's it. Even more, trust it. If you find yourself not sure, relax into that direction. Wherever that is, trust it. Remember, you cannot make a mistake. What a wonderful place to be, where you cannot make a mistake. Even if you think you're making one, celebrate. Just observe the body. That's it. I'm going to raise the energy a little bit higher. Never stop wondering how incredibly wise your body is. Never stop being surprised. That's it. Even more freedom. More freedom. That's it. That's it. And remember that movements and the postures of the body are necessary as a completion of the energy cycle. So allowing them fully to express, even if you're not sure why you need it, even if you're not sure where it's going, allowing it to fully express is completing the cycle of energy. That's what the body wants, and a new energy comes through. That's it. Relaxing into it and trusting the body. Excellent. That's it. Nothing else. All we're doing today is just connecting and freeing the body to self-regulate. That's it. Notice the shift of the energy right now. Notice. This is the strongest shift we've had. And now I encourage you not only to sense what the body experiences, but also to notice the transitions, the in-between movements. Let's pay attention to the in-betweens. And to the in-betweens, yeah. Gorgeous. It's not easy. We're so used to only looking for the arrival moments, right? That's where we set our goals, right? And now we're looking at the process in between. it almost forces us, right, to let go more, to accept more, because it's no longer a place, it's a state. Hear what I'm saying? It's no longer a place we're looking for. It's no longer a sensation. It's a state. It's almost that sense of laying yourself on water. It's a whole brain experience. It's not a recognition of one moment or another. It's not something we could ever maybe even contain in words. And don't look for it. Don't look for words. Allows you to go deeper. Look for the transition. Attention to the transitional moments in between. In between. Beautiful. More freedom. Beautiful. Now notice your breath. Every time we're paying attention to something that is not easy for us to gauge, we would naturally hold our breath a little bit. So just free your breath right now. Just free it. See what happens. Just free it. And the breath will right now help you adjust your posture. Breath is not only for oxygen, it actually also fine tunes your postures, inner posture, outer posture. That's it. Relax into it. Notice if it's a little uncomfortable, relax into the discomfort. Don't push it. Don't try and prove anything to anybody, not to yourself either. Just as you are. Accept this moment as it is. And notice the transition. Pay attention to the transition instead of to the sensation itself. I know it's a little bit abstract, and it's abstract on purpose. Good. Even more freedom. Beautiful. That's it. Notice the energy. Notice the energy changing, shifting. Trust it. Beautiful. That's it. No expectations again. Just as you are. Notice the shift right now. Right now. More freedom. Relax into the direction it's going right now. This is beautiful here. This is beautiful. Wow. Wow. Notice. Very simple. into it. Just relax into it as far as it wants to go. No rush. Don't give up on the posture too easy. Notice the transition. And now relax the head and the neck. No matter what posture you're in, no matter what movement you're in, relax the head and the neck even more. Let gravity be your friend. As strange as it may be, as strange as it may be, beautiful. That's it. Catch yourself. Catch yourself and bring your attention back to the body. And celebrate every time you do so. Because that's the process. There's a shift that happened a moment ago. Beautiful shift. More freedom. Trust it. Trust it. Trust it. No perfections. Just the intermediate. Whatever it wants. Whatever it wants. If anybody at any moment feels that the body is just too calm laying down, you can stand up again and start over. Again, basic connection to energy. And let it guide you. There we go. Ah, yes. Let it surprise you. Excellent. That's it. That's it. I'm going to raise the energy a little bit higher. Sometimes the movements are hard and stiff, and sometimes they're very smooth and free. Notice the shift again. Pay attention to the in-between. Just give yourself the freedom to do it without fully understanding what it feels like. There. There. Beautiful. Okay. Done amazing. As soon as you're ready, please open your eyes. Let's have a seat for a few moments, just reflect on what happened. And notice as soon as you open your eyes, there's a good chance the energy is becoming stronger. So don't let go of the sensation. So please at home, if you may, just give us that one word, maybe something that specific that happened, an impression of this energy. If you've noticed when I said shift of energy, if you've noticed how it was shifting. What's the one word?
Light.
Light. Mhm.
Like light.
Light as in
Yeah.
new light.
Being
Maybe more light. Okay.
Shifting colors. A new wave of new colors.
Yes.
Never with the color. Is it possible that that's how I notice?
Yeah. Everything. This is it. Everything is. It's not one. This is it. And sometimes it shows you in one way, another time it shows you another way.
the same.
Yeah, light. Rather one word? Two words?
Toward the green light.
Green light?
Green light.
Green light.
Green line.
Like they used to.
Okay, yes.
It's something where kind of joy and pleasure can come
Yeah,
in one sort of.
yeah.
There's a first of everything. Right? It's kind of the idea, idealized
Hmm.
stream. And that finding joy in the moment, that was
Yeah.
kind of reflection of that.
Beautiful. Joy in the moment.
As opposed to being kind of controlling it.
Very
Tension in
arms, and I didn't know if my shirt's gonna just burst or something. It was just like massive extent of what was going on.
Evelina, well, while we all received some light, Rada has shone some green on it, and Evelina tried to explode like a hawk. So there was a theme here. All right? Interesting.
So I put a lot of movements. I wasn't allowing my neck, so now today I was consciously letting go.
Right. Yeah, thank you. Like I said, we want to, but it's such a habitual self-identity of holding on to the head and the neck that we're not even aware that we're not letting it go.
A lot of movements, but I was holding this.
Yeah. Sheolef. Yeah, Catherine is saying grounded. Marco is saying expansion. Vicky is saying when you said shift the energy, somehow my posture started to change. For example, if I was laying down, the energy would guide me to stand up. Very powerful. Thank you. Thank you, Vicky. Phil is saying modulation. Modulation means transitional movement from one posture to another? Okay, interesting. Okay. And Jennifer is saying, I felt nauseous and lightheaded the first time you said to notice the shift in the energy. And the nausea continued and intensified through the meditation. My head felt very, very heavy too. Excellent, Jennifer. Excellent. We're receiving a shift. The only thing I suggest is not to see nausea as something that's working against you. It's just when their shift is fast, just like when you are in a roller coaster. When the shifts are fast, there's nausea. And that's a good sign. So what we do is we don't fight it. We just observe it, accept it, and then you receive the vertical. That what we're after, you receive when you don't fight the horizontal experience, right? So congratulations. I know I may not feel so pleasant, but I'm very happy for you. Visual connection has been lost, but the audio is still good. Not sure if it's just for you, Jennifer, because no one else has reported that. Not sure if I'm still seen or not, but that's how it is. Vicky, thank you, Eric. Today's meditation helps a lot to fix my shoulder pain, which had been terribly bothering me recently. Thank you. Well, the whole idea is, Vicky, that we didn't try to fix it. It's your new state that no longer needs a shoulder pain. Because shoulder, again, connected to the way we feel that we're accepted by others, heard by others, and recognized by others. So we didn't try and fix the shoulder. We just reached a state in which the shoulder pain is no longer what the body needs to bring our attention and so forth. I'm not going to go deep into that. Okay? So thank you. Shirley says, one word, connection. Surprised, observing change between sensations, felt shift, sense of new freedom, a speeding up in the body changes. Thank you. Wow. Interesting. Yeah, Vicky said great. Yeah.
There were shifts even when you were not calling them, right?
I'm sorry?
There were other shifts. You didn't call all the shifts.
No, of course not. Yeah, just some of the obvious. Shirley said that we have lost video too, and audio is great. Okay. What can we do? I look exactly the same as I have 10 minutes ago, but the words have changed. So it would be worse if it was opposite, right? If the video was still there, but the sound was gone. So notice it, celebrate. Okay. On that note, thank you so much for today. Amazing energy. The replay is available for you for the next few weeks. You can, but note, I don't know how many weeks. Note when our next class is, because we've had a big break this time. We may not have as much next time, so just notice. And that's it. And practice and vertical point B. I love it today. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.